Welcome back to my animal education series. So today we're going to talk about another one of my Florida neighbors, the house gecko. As you guys saw in my anole video recently, Florida is home to a lot of invasive lizard species, and the house geckos have joined that list. So now there are several species of house geckos down here in Florida, and this video will be mostly about house geckos in general, but the ones that I will show you and that we have at least here in our yard are Mediterranean house geckos. House geckos are typically found in very tropical areas of Southeast Asia, Central and South America, the Caribbean, and the Pacific Islands. The only native house gecko to Florida is the reef gecko. Now, these lizards aren't very big. They only get to about 4 to 5 inches long and only live for a couple years out in the wild. These lizards are non-venomous and are completely harmless to people, except for some of the pictures and video I showed you of the lizard biting my dad. Unlike the anoles, these guys are nocturnal versus diurnal, but like the anoles, these guys are insectivores, and they'll eat all sorts of creepy crawlies from spiders, termites, ants, moths, whatever. Now, these guys don't sound that bad now, do they? But these guys will love to eat all the creepy crawls around your home, so if you have a home, these guys are definitely your best friend. House geckos get their name because they're typically found around people's houses, compared to the anoles, which are typically found in bushes, shrubs, and trees. Now, we at least find house geckos around our home underneath windowsills, doorways, and gutters, but if we were going around the house at nighttime, we will often see these guys crawling along the walls, and we have outside lights on at times for the dogs, and we will typically see these geckos hanging out around these lights looking for their next meal. Now let's talk about some of the other house gecko species that are found down here in Florida. And as I talk about them, I'll put pictures up on the screen here. And I have my notes here so that I don't forget any of the information that I'm supposed to remember. So first off, we have the reef house gecko, which gets about 2.5 to 3 inches long and is the only native house gecko species to Florida. Next up, we have the flat-tailed house gecko, which have longer snouts. They're lighter gray in color with some dark streaking. The tropical house gecko, which gets about 5 inches long, which is often yellow in color with darker markings. And the Indo-Pacific gecko, which are lighter gray in color with dark markings. And they grow to about 5 inches in length, and under certain lighting at night, they can even appear translucent. Now, a lot of these house geckos came to Florida from overseas. The Mediterranean house gecko that I have pictures of here, those guys typically came from Mediterranean regions over in Europe, and they kind of hitched a ride on other cargo and food that was brought in over here to the States. If these geckos find an environment that is very similar to the one that they came from, these geckos tend to do pretty well. They also tend to be more social than other gecko species, often seeking shelter with others of their kind. And the males are also pretty territorial. As you can see in the photos and videos that I took of the one here, they are pretty bitey. And this has some researchers pretty worried that the Mediterranean house gecko is going to drive out the native reef gecko from their shared territories. These house geckos typically breed between March and July and can have multiple clutches of eggs a year. And these breeding habits typically outcompete native lizard species. Now, the next time you see these house geckos, anoles, or any other small lizard around your home, just leave them be because they're going to eat a lot of those nasty insect pests that you don't really want around your home. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below, subscribe to my channel, and as always, I will see you next week.